podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello, Daniel. How's it going?
Tremendous. You?
Tremendous. Oh, I'm super top stuff. Different season, new manager, same bunch of absolute idiots in the team. Doesn't seem to change, does it?
No, it does not. And it's one of those things where you hoped it might be different. I don't know. Yeah. It wasn't different. In fact, I would say that there is a strong argument, and I don't know, like, maybe I'm just being melodramatic the day after, but I don't think I am, that first half was up there with the worst halves of football ever played by a Manchester United team.
Well, it felt like it, yeah.
In the time I've been watching, I mean, the first games I remember were 1983. In that time, There was a first half against Forest on Easter Monday in about 1989, I think it was, where Tony Gill does some kind of injury, forget what it was, that finished his career, that I think it was 4-0 after about 20 minutes. But Forest were good.
Mm-hmm.
Brentford aren't that good. I mean, I actually thought that Brentford probably played better in that game we won last season than they did yesterday. I'm not saying they didn't play well yesterday. They played all right. But they weren't... Like, United could have been 4 down in that game that they won as well, and that would have been a very fair reflection of the play too.
True, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I suppose the one thing Ten Hag can take from this is that there were 3 individual errors for 3 of the goals. Yeah, no, I mean, seriously is, because I suppose you can get on the training ground and coach some of that. Yeah, you'd hope. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't fix Dave.
You can't coach the goalkeeper not to do that. And all goalkeepers do that. Mm-hmm. Like, every time when I'm doing, like, on this day on Twitter, like, in particular, the amount of those that Peter Schmeichel made always kind of take me aback, even though I remember them at the time. But De Gea has been doing that for a while and not giving enough back. I totally understand why Ten Hag probably thought, well, I got so much to sort this summer. I have 1 more year of De Gea, and then we'll sort it out properly next summer once most of the rest of the team is sorted. Once most of the rest of the team is sorted. What sense is that?
Magic. Yeah, I mean, De Gea just looked like he returned to no competition Dave, where he just switches off.
He is starting to rival Maguire in the fronting up stakes.
He does. I mean, there's something changed in that respect last season, where he started getting in front of the microphone after nearly 10 years of avoiding it like the plague. But yeah, it was absolutely horrendous. And then, I don't know whether it was planned for Christian Eriksen to be the midfielder who got the ball off the centre-backs, because obviously United centre-backs can't beat the press. We have 2 years of evidence of this now, and so twice he got caught in possession by Brentford's high press. Like, that should have surprised anyone. And then I suppose the one good goal or one systems problem was the 4th goal, which United got caught on the break and didn't have enough.
That was a great goal. They needed to do a lot of things perfectly to score that goal.
Yeah. Oh, and I suppose Lisandro Martinez getting out-jumped, surprise. We can all talk about his height.
But it's not right, but he didn't jump. He just got caught under the ball and stood there and looked at it. And one of the things, I don't know, that I found this slightly annoying was the way that he was schlepped. He was schlepped at half-time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess you might think, well, we want to save him from further humiliation because he's going to be required. But at the same time, part of me was thinking, hang on. The scouting department told you to buy Pau Torres. You decided to buy Martinez, which is absolutely fine. You're the manager. You know this player. So we can back him. But then let him play. Like, he's
sure.
So let him play through it instead of making him sit at the side like a baby. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it increased the focus on him, didn't it? He made a few mistakes last week as well, although I don't think he was that bad.
I thought he was crap in the first half last week. He got a bit better. But, I mean, at some point, it's just, I feel like you need to decide what this team's going to be. And so, if Martinez is part of it, taking him off achieves what?
Nothing.
And also, it's not sustainable to have Varane fit and on the bench.
No, it definitely isn't. I do wonder what Varane is thinking right now. I mean, he's actually been quite diplomatic when asked about whether he regrets moving to Manchester United. And he said, I mean, he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, he basically said, look, I've won everything anyway, so this is a new experience.
Yeah, I'm enjoying failure.
Yeah, wonderful. But yeah, no, him on the bench is interesting, isn't it? Because he brings a certain sense, although he's not been fit often enough to be good for United, he brings a certain sense of calmness to that back four that Harry Maguire definitely doesn't. So.
Yeah, like I would just be, like the only one that's probably one of the other things I thought, okay, that is if I'm grasping about trying to find positivity, it was bringing Malacia on for sure at halftime, because that's one of those things I see it and I think, okay, like this is something changing, and this is Ten Hag starting to build his team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he'll do for Liverpool, but what I want to see is I don't want to see the same shit I've seen before. Even if it's horrendous, I want it to be different horrendous shit.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble, of course, is, I mean, Malacia is a change we can see, and he's a very different kind of player. You see him taking up very different positions, don't you, than Shaw, and he just looks enthusiastic to we can beat that out of him, don't worry, it won't last long enough. But the rest of them, we've seen it all before, and I don't think it was a surprise that Eriksen and Fred in central midfield was a bit soft.
I mean, so, yeah, I think Malacia, he doesn't look like the glowworm from Alice in Wonderland. That is helpful. And he's just got a bit of devil about him, and we know, ultimately, what Luke Shaw is. And
yeah,
he's someone who can be good sometimes, but is not going to be in a team that does anything.
No, that's right. I mean, he's been at United, 6 or 7 seasons now? He came under Van Gaal, didn't he? So it might even be more than 7 seasons. And he's had one good season, I think.
When there were no crowds.
Solidly good season. Yeah, when there are no crowds. And I think that's quite a lot of evidence there. I mean, you can say the same about Anthony Martial as well, although he's, conveniently not fit at the moment, so...
I mean, it's just I just want to see something different. I mean, what I find a bit strange. I mean, I found lots of things strange about Ten Hag, but I get why he wants to sign Frankie De Jong, but if you've got De Jong and you've got Bruno and you've got Eriksen, then those three probably isn't a workable midfield. I mean, maybe you could, if you're become a possession team, maybe it is. But one thing I do think is that the only possession team that have ever done anything in the Premier League is City. And they're managed by the high priest of possession football who knows exactly how to do it and state wealth to back him. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I don't understand is that, to me, is that if you're going to play De Jong with one of Bruno and Eriksen, then the other playing just needs to be an animal.
Well, that's right. Even Pep had years of Fernandinho, right? So, he didn't play with a sort of soft player in there all the time, possession player. I mean,
I guess he's got Rodri. He's got Rodri now, who covers less ground, but is nasty. Yeah.
So then, no, that's right. I mean, as we've spoken about all along, United needed at least 2 midfielders this summer. At least 2 and central midfielders, and I don't think Christian Eriksen's a central midfielder. He's better.
No, I'm happy that we got him because he was free.
Further up the pitch, isn't he? Yeah,
I'm happy we got him because he's free. But even if we had already got De Jong, the balance of that midfield, the balance of that team would still be out of whack.
That's right. And look, we've been talking about that for 2 years. So hooked Fred off at halftime, brought McTominay on.
I thought McTominay did all right, relatively speaking.
Yeah. I mean, moral victory in the second half. United didn't concede any goals. It looked a bit more solid. Brentford took their foot off the gas, so that's another level of humiliation for United.
Took their foot off the gas. I thought, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but McTominay was actually driving through midfield with the ball, which is his best attribute, which we haven't seen very... because he was someone, like, he wasn't someone who ever looked like he'd be good enough to play on a seriously good United team, but he was improving. And just since the beginning of last season, he's just been horrific.
Yeah, look, his best attribute is driving through midfield, and he can score some goals. We've seen a few, haven't we?
Yeah, he's not a bad finisher.
Yeah.
I wonder if for Liverpool, we might see Martinez playing in midfield and with Varane and Maguire at centre-back.
It's well, I mean, I guess we'll come on to Liverpool, but he's going to have to come up with a special system, isn't he? Because United will under any kind of pressure, and there's clearly going to be pressure.
I mean, when it comes down to it, people basically didn't realise how good Ole was. I think that's what we're dancing around this.
It's easy to be revisionist, of course, but he took this squad to second in the league in the Europa League final, playing a certain kind of football which not everyone liked.
And as soon as he tried to change it, went to shit.
And as soon as he tried to change it, it went to shit. And Ronaldo joined. It seemed to disrupt the balance of everything. But he got this squad playing in a certain way that got a lot of points. And had some. And look at all those. Remember all those victories like away from home.
That's
29 games unbeaten.
Not just victories away from home, but a lot of them victories from behind.
Yeah.
Now, that speaks very poorly of their mentality to begin with, but they didn't collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're desperate to collapse. I mean, Ten Hag said it last week, that basically said that they were weak. And then he sort of said it again this week. And the thing about this team that really I find extremely aggravating, one of the panoply of things, is that they play like they're not expecting the ball to come to them, and like they don't want the ball to come to them, and it's just so slow. And football is not a slow game; it's a dynamic game, and the way that they amble about and they don't make angles for each other, there's just no intensity. And I mean, they needed lots of players. They didn't get lots of players, and these players they're very adept at getting managers fired. So I'll tell you what else annoyed me is McLaren sitting there in his Dean Henderson baseball cap. That's just like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting coaching team that Ten Hag has brought. And look, there has been some commentary around the amount of changes there, but a lot of that happens every time you bring a new manager in. So, brand new coaching team. I don't think it's not as if the old coaching team had like transformed United in some way. Ralph and Chris Armas and his bloke on the phone from Moscow. So we haven't had the whispers coming out of the dressing room that they don't like the training or it's too intense, or maybe that's to come. Maybe we've only had 2 games, so maybe that's to come. But yeah, anyway, I mean, Ten Hag looked pretty broken afterwards, I think.
I mean, he's been
he used the word unacceptable again, which was his favourite word. So.
Someone get him a thesaurus.
Yep. Yeah, well, his English is okay and definitely better than my Dutch, so no criticism there. But I think when you're searching for words, you go to the ones that are familiar, and he pulls out the unacceptable quite a lot.
I mean, because to me, it's not even about unacceptable at this point. I'm not watching it thinking that's unacceptable. I'm watching it thinking you fucking disgust me.
Yeah, well, no, that's right. I mean, we're going through the 7 stages here, aren't we? And I've moved on from the earlier stages onto the acceptance that we are crap, and it's a level of crap that's,
on that
concerning.
On that point, I guess I've decided that on balance, I preferred it when we were good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I'm beginning to forget. I mean, it is 9 years since we were good. 9.5.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a very long time. And we had Dave coming up to the microphone afterwards saying, my mistakes. Wait, what did he say? He has to be responsible for his mistakes. I think he might have used the word unacceptable as well. I was like, well, you've been here for all of those 9 years.
What does it mean to be responsible for your mistakes?
It means in professional football, normally you sat on the bench
is that not tautology? Like, they're your mistakes. Yep. Obviously, you're responsible for them.
Well, quite, yeah. Yeah. No, that's right. It should mean there's some kind of change. Yeah. Unfortunately, United's best keeper's probably over at Forest at the moment. So, and
I'm still happy for him to stay there.
Yeah. Well, Dave, as you said, he's got a year left in his contract. Actually, it's a year plus 1. So there's United have the one-way option, which they will probably exercise because they'll see a asset value there. So it looks like he will be a problem again. But he's not the only one. We've got Dalot. We've seen him plenty now to know that he doesn't offer much. Maguire is not looking any more certain. I don't think he's coming to this season.
I guess it was kind of strange that why... I mean, I know that they must assume that Laird isn't ready, but given that we know that Della and Wan-Bissaka aren't good enough, I don't know, I guess I might have been tempted to keep Laird around for that reason, just because he might be good enough, and also, because he's got a championship loan, we know that he can play in the championship. I'm not certain what this QPR loan's intended to tell us, but I don't know. Just because one of the things I think that buys Ten Hag time and keeps people on side and patient is if they can see some kind of progress. And there's no progress in picking Dallo or Wan-Bissaka at right back.
No, it's acceptance that there isn't anything good enough, and they're just going to have to pick one of them. And he's picking their.
If instead he says, "Look, I haven't got the players I need. You're going to have to bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play, develop, put my trust in younger players, and you're going to have to be patient. We're going to get beaten. How much we lost 4-0 to Brentford, man. Like, how much worse can it get?"
We'll see at Old Trafford next weekend, won't we?
At least then, people have got some level of something to buy into. At the moment, we're just not seeing that. We're just seeing the same old shite.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we are seeing the same old shite. We saw the same old reaction from the same old players. Harry Maguire came out. Ten Hag looking like the broken Man United manager he already is, saying we'll work on it in the training ground. It's a difficult process. I think he actually used those difficult process.
I mean, imagine what's going on. I think if I was him, and I know it's easy to say because I don't have millions of pounds tied up in this. But I'd be going to the Glazers and I'd be saying, if you guys don't back me in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think I said this last week, that this summer always looked like the key one for me. If United don't do anything decent this summer, massively improve the squad, then that is a message to us that it's over, basically. Yeah,
it's a message to the whole of football that United aren't serious players.
This job is toxic.
Yeah.
If you're a player, don't come. If you're a manager, don't take it. And that's what happened to Conte at Spurs, basically, where he called Daniel Levy's bluff because he's saying, right, well, you've got me. I'm much better than Tottenham. And therefore, he's got them into the Champions League. So if at that point Conte says, you won't back me, I'm leaving, then Spurs have got a toxic manager's job. They've got players that want to leave and they lose money. The club becomes worth less. And that is not what they want. So they've had to, against their better judgment, try and make a better football team.
Yeah,
and mad,
very much.
Absolutely the sugar thing to say. But it remains the case. I just don't like... This is going to drag Ten Hag down. And and that's what he should do, really. But the problem is also that the players that he's trying to get just make you think, what the fuck are you talking about, mate?
It's interesting, like, I can't see the plan. And I did hear from someone that, once again, the hands of Joel Glazer have been on this summer. And he's been intimately involved in what United are trying to do in the transfer market with the same old result.
Intimately?
Right?
That sounds
intimately. Yeah. Nothing should be intimate with any of those Glazer fucking gimps.
Because... like, you lose to Brighton in ignominious style, and what's the response? To try and buy a shithouse, Rabiot, and a shitbag, Arnautovic. And it's just, what's the plan here?
There is no plan, and I mean, I really did hope, and I think I was dragged into this hope that with a new CEO and a new football director, a new technical director, that United had a structure that was more modern and can go and activate itself in a transfer market, and that all looked good, didn't it? But it seems like actually Murtaugh's just the same old Murtaugh.
Murtaugh hasn't done anything. So that's the problem, is when you have Murtaugh and Fletcher learning on the job. Like, Fletcher's someone I'm pleased is involved. He speaks well. He understands the game well. Had to really work hard and think about things hard to maximise his talent. So, but Murtaugh with him there's just no experience. And the thing about Ten Hag is that at Ajax, it wasn't his job to find players. It was his job to pick the team and coach the team. So he might go to someone and say, I need a player for this position. They come back with 3 or 4 alternatives, and they work out who it is. But he hasn't spent the last season scouting.
No.
So he comes here, and so one of the reasons I think that he's going for players he knows are because they're probably some of them are the best players he's going to get because they're coming for him, not for us. Another reason is that if you're next on the line, then you're kind of more encouraged to go with what you can.
You know.
No, and also what you know is not much. And I'm not. That's not.
Well, that's right.
I'm not slagging him off, but he hasn't been watching this what's his name, Benjamin Sesko and Sasaklas,
sure.
whatever, because that isn't his job. So he's not on top of all the players that we might want to sign, which is why you end up with trying to sign arswipe like Arnautovic, because he knows him and he thinks, well, I know what I can get out of him, and mate, it's obviously a total nonsense, but
it's a total nonsense. It's not the way United should be operating.
And also, the fact that Ten Hag, first of all, he basically supported Overmars in saying that they're looking forward to working together again, or whatever the precise line was. Now he's trying to sign Arnautovic, and it's just loyalty is a good trait in a manager, but to those lads, excuse me.
I know, and it says something about and I don't want to write Ten Hag's morals off just yet, but it does say something. He was so quick to forgive Overmars, and so was football, by the way. And Arnautovic has a long history. It's not just at the Euros. It's an easy Google, this one. And it was interesting.
Likewise, his guru, Sinisa Mihajlovic.
Right, and the club obviously has Ronaldo all over social media. Greenwood's still on the website, and Ryan Giggs was in the director's box not a few months ago,
we're
finding out what a club, and that is an absolute collection, an absolute shower, that lot, isn't it? It's going to get a Rogues 11 going here. So, I mean, it's a wider point.
I mean, I am quite close to writing off Ten Hag's morals. I'll be real, but in terms of, I'm not writing him off as a coach, because I think when you hire a coach like this, right, I said on here last season that I was leaning Ten Hag over Pochettino because I knew what Pochettino was, and I didn't think getting a less good Klopp was the answer. But my concern with Ten Hag was that he didn't have any apparent charisma. So, and all the managers that have had any modicum of success at United, Tommy Docherty, not Dave Sexton, Mourinho and Van Gaal versus Moyes and Ole, and I know that's not the only difference between those guys, but it is something that unites all the people that have had a little bit of success. But United have gone with a technocrat, so it's going to take time to instill the things that he needs to instill, except the way that he wants things to work, he just doesn't have the players for that. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems like the only style these players can play is what Ole did at the beginning.
No, that's it. And Ten Hag would have to throw away everything he wants to build in order to get some short-term success.
And that's the thing.
It might be the only thing that keeps him in a job.
I mean, Rabiot, to come back to him, he's someone who the first few times I saw him play in his early 20s, thought, okay, this guy could be a player. And so if he's 24, I could understand, you might say, right, well, he's cheap, and I think there's a lot of unlocked potential. But 27, paying cash money to give to Juventus to go and get someone better.
No, that's right. And Juve are desperate to get rid of him. And if you follow some Juve fans on Twitter, you'll know none of them will be sad about him leaving. And every time I've seen him, I've just thought, he's a big bag of meh. I mean, his stats look remarkably similar. I mean, almost identical to Scott McTominay's.
But inferior, I believe.
If you hadn't seen... Inferior, yeah. I mean, obviously I've seen him with my eyes a lot over the years, and there's just nothing about him that impresses me particularly. So, and my opinion is my opinion.
And that's the point.
No value whatsoever, but it's...
What's the point? And
none.
I don't... It's not easy to fathom what... I mean, apart from the fact that he's cheap, and even the fact that he's cheap, I just think that you could get someone better than that for cheap. And
I don't think he's even cheap, because the fee to Juve plus
the wages,
mega commission to his mum.
I mean,
and mega wages. So
yeah, I mean, I find the harping on about his mum a bit weird. In that, if it was his dad, no one would give a shit.
Wow.
Any agent, it's their job to play hardball to get the best possible deal, the most amount of money for the player. But because Rabiot, it's his mum, it does seem like I find the carping about it a bit weird.
No, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's always odd when the family members involved, because it feels like they're double dipping. Like Alfie Haaland to City is getting a mega wage, and his dad got a mega commission as well, so it always feels like they're getting extra. But I mean, it's what any agent would do. I
remember
guess, and the way you play the game these days.
Yeah, I mean, Rashford's brothers rep him as well. But back in the days of Rude, I remember somehow Roger Linzer, was that his name, engineered a payment out of United for Rude signing a new contract.
Yeah, yeah.
That he wanted to sign.
Yeah, no, I know. You do wonder if the player wants to come and all of that, but no, the days
he was already there.
I know.
he was there. He was in school.
Maybe we should get Rude in as manager. He's doing all right.
He's doing a nice job, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, and looking so handsome.
He looks very handsome. Yeah, he does.
Much more handsome than when he was actually playing for us. But he's absolutely kicking aging's ass.
He is. It's the first thing I thought when I saw him. He's got a very sharp beard. The only thing I'd say is he doesn't wear scruff, does he? He has the full Don Johnson, very, very sharp line.
Very good coverage
in the beard.
Yeah, very excellent coverage. But yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes it's just like
We spent about 3 minutes reviewing the game, which is all it deserves. Where do United go from here, though? Because it's Liverpool next, and I'm not sure what comes after that, but it's hard to see anything other than backs to the wall, play something different, maybe Martinez in midfield, maybe three at the back, anything to change this up. But it's going to be the only way United get anything out of this game coming up is to be ultra defensive, isn't it? I mean, can United go toe-to-toe and get anything out of this game?
Absolutely not. I mean, that was the thing that changed with Ole as well. Not just the signing of Ronaldo, to come back to what we were saying earlier. It was that attempt to change to a more expansive style. Basically, didn't work either. But no, I mean, United will lose on Monday. I think we all know that. It's more about you need to see progress. You need to see from Ten Hag that he knows what to do to move things on, and rotating Fred and Mackie T is not that thing.
No, his subs were interesting, weren't they? Because it didn't really point to any change. I mean, maybe Malessier comes in, although it's a big game to throw him in, but why not? But he didn't throw any of the younger players on. Like James Garner could have come on in midfield, didn't. I mean, not that I think he's the answer.
No. But it's just you want to just see this moving forward. I guess he sent McTee on because he's also trying to not lose worse than 4-0. But it was already 4-0. But the Liverpool game is almost that, not writing it off, but you kind of think that will require something specific. But after Liverpool, we need to see what the plan is. We need to know what the team is and how he wants them to play, and he needs to not be a pussy, and he needs to make some brave decisions, whether they're the players that he brings in and the players that he starts leaving out the 11. So I knew the 11 he was going to pick yesterday.
Yeah,
I didn't think it would lose like that, but also I think that's going to be our best 11 going forward. But I can't believe I just used the phrase "going forward." See, that's what they do.
Yeah,
you're becoming. Who managed to perforate his bowel last week. And I mean, I'm not saying it was because of what happened in the Brighton game, but I mean, the day after...
You're not saying it either.
The day after there it was. And then I remember I messaged a few of my mates saying I'm in the hospital with my dad, and look, there is a chance this is it. It's not it. He's good. Thank you for your inquiries. So one of my mates sends him a message and says, tell him to keep the red flag flying high. And so we're setting off, we've had these potential deathbed conversations, and then we're taking him off, we're walking with him as he's going to surgery. So I said, Benji says, keep the red flag flying high. And my dad was he was on morphine up to the eyeballs, which he actually said was a bit disappointing, but in ridiculous pain. But when it was keep the red flag flying high, my dad kind of looked up, he laughed, and it was just it is absolutely nuts. The store that we set in this absolute bullshit that we call football. But there it is. It's just one of those things. I was thinking about it because it kind of the manner in which it tracks your life. And it's just always there. But also the thing I never really thought about is actually I might never see this guy again. And he's raised me for 43 years. And I'm saying to him, keep the red flag flying high. And then when you see what's going on, and it's just so obscene in all departments that it just feels like it gets to a point where you need some kind of change. And it is starting to feel like that. Like even Gary Neville's saying the Glazers have got to go. I mean,
I know. I don't put much store by Gary Neville. I'm glad your dad's okay, by the way. And if you're going to go, don't go on the day United lose 4-0 to Brentford.
Until he had to discover what happened yesterday. But I was actually... So Gary Neville was banging on about it. So I dug out this old quotation from 2010, and this is what he said when he was a player.
Okay.
All the speculation about the finances of Manchester United does not affect the players. We are always very well protected and never get involved in the financial side of things. There have been talks and rumours over the years, going back to when the Glazers took over, and even when Michael Knight nearly took over in the 1980s. As players, we never get involved in those things. Our job is purely on the pitch, and we allow people who are paid to do jobs in other areas of the club to do their job. It is nothing to do with us at all. And not long after that, I actually was in a thrift store in Tel Aviv, and I came by a Scholes figurine and a Gary Neville figurine. And I bought the Scholes one, and I was so pissed off for Gary Neville for that, I left him there to languish. But kind of the reason why I think about it now is because you're seeing him kind of leading the resistance, and I'm pleased he is, and I'm prepared to accept his repentance, but it just makes me think, because you see it from a lot of the journos as well, who were saying it, but they sat there silent when it was being fought at the beginning.
For 17 years.
And for a long time after that, and you're still getting them, some of them saying, well, they've spent a load of money. And the thing I think that people don't realise is that is true. United have spent a lot of money, but the problem is the money's always spent reactively. It's not, what do you need? And the manager comes back. It's like, what do you need? And here it is what do you need? And then, okay, we'll give you some of that. It's
well, that's right, and it's always a little bit short. And look, it's not the Glazers that are spending money; it's the club's money. And Gary Neville's years late on this, and I don't know. You're more forgiving of him than I am, because at the moment it feels like he's just blowing with the wind of sentiment. And at the time when he needed to work with the club because he was building a hotel and still leveraging his relationship with the club for his media career, he wasn't critical of the Glazers, right? And I just find it. I find it a bit distasteful. I do laugh at some of the idiots they have as pundits these days. I think it was Jamie Redknapp, who's definitely not the sharpest tool in the box, talking about how much the Glazers have spent.
I mean, he's sort of half right. He's not sharp, but he is. I mean,
he's half right that United spend a lot of money. Yeah, sure, United spend a lot of money.
I mean, one out of two ain't bad, but it's just the... Yeah, it's never enough, and if you look at the different, I think that the main thing I thought that did for Ole in the end, apart from how terribly Maguire and Shaw in particular played at the beginning of last season, was the signings. And the problem with managing United, is that you have to nail every signing. You don't have the infrastructure for that, in the way that Liverpool do, but there's no scope to fail. If Guardiola buys a left back and he gets nicked. And he gets nicked on a variety of sex cases, it doesn't matter. You get another one. Nolito, Danilo, the names trip off the tongue.
Yeah.
A Claudio Bravo. It doesn't matter because you just get another one.
Yeah.
And with United, if you don't nail your £80 million signing of Harry Maguire, which I admit was I'm not defending Ole on that because I thought that was a ludicrous expenditure of money. I never thought that Harry Maguire would be good enough. And the player that Ole wanted him to be just was not in any way the player he actually is. But if you go and spend, if you're manager of United and you spend 80 million quid on Harry Maguire, you're stuck with him. And we've still got Phil Jones, a player who wasn't good enough who Fergie signed. Then we've got two centre-backs who weren't good enough who Mourinho signed, Lindelof and Bailly, and a centre-back who wasn't good enough who Ole signed. We can't get rid of anyone, but there's no scope to fail. If you fail, then you're fucked.
I mean, that's right, but, it doesn't even seem like they're trying to win. But it doesn't seem like the big money is being ponied up. Maybe we could be wrong. End of the week, maybe it'll all change, although I very much doubt it.
Well,
And the thing is, United's financial world and ability to swing the big dick in the transfer market is shrinking. The share price is down 25% year on year. That only matters, I suppose, if the Glazers want to sell the club. It doesn't seem like they're about to sell the club. But United's commercials have been flat for years. TeamViewer said in the last week or so that they're not renewing their contract. That deflates the market for the next shirt sponsorship. All right, they've got a couple of years left on that. Adidas deal is up in a year and a half, so they'll be into negotiations soon. It won't be anywhere near the size it was before, because Adidas will know full well that United haven't been in the Champions League for about half the years of that contract. So United's financial world is shrinking. The club's only worth $2 billion at the moment. It's like loose change for a couple of states
despots.
or tech billionaires, despots or tech billionaires. And it's just like in every sense, this club is not what it was. In every sense, overtaken financially by a lot. It may even be overtaken financially by Liverpool this year, and overtaken on the pitch clearly. So, and it needs, as we've talked about, it needs a focal point for the club to move forward and be successful. And unfortunately for Ten Hag, he's not got the tools he really desperately needs in order to move forward. And it seems like the tools he might be given.
Tools.
Yeah, well, no, that's right.
Oh gosh, this is where we are.
I mean, look, it's desperate stuff. And I think at the end of last season, I wasn't feeling very positive that United would execute anything over the summer to make a change for the new manager. And as you've said several times, they're always left short. And he's not just been left
I knew he'd be left
short this time.
I knew he'd be left short, but I thought we'd see decent improvements, because I felt that financially, in order to protect their ability to keep milking the club, they needed us to get quite a lot better than we were last season. That financially it wouldn't make sense for them to not do anything.
Yeah, but they're brain dead. These guys they're just brain dead, because they could run the club much better if they got it right, and maybe that's a stretch too far, or just exit, take your $2 billion, divide it up between the 6 kids, or like looking at a Chelsea price, $3.5-4 billion with a premium on there for the brand. Divide it between the kids, stick it in index funds. They'll live happily for the rest of their lives, very wealthy. Like none of that will change their lives. Like the reflected glory that they get is absolute crap at the moment. Like, I'm sure Avram enjoyed his trip to the UK last week, right? No, I don't think so. So we won't see them back for months, if at all, this season. What are they doing at the club? It doesn't make any sense. They should go. Unfortunately, in saying that, like, who? Because Michael Knighton is not running to the rescue here. I see he popped up in the media again. I know. Jim Ratcliffe, as United fan, multi-billionaire, has said it makes no sense to buy United. And it doesn't. Look, the share price, as I said, 25% down year over year. It's not a good investment.
We haven't yet sunk low enough. But
yeah,
again,
that's right, for him to invest. If
Ten Hag comes out fighting, I would feel much more comfortable. If he comes out and says, all right, this is a mess, so I'm going to put my faith in some players, it's going to take some time, but then, okay. Like, just players that just, like, running around fast would be a good start. But, I mean, we haven't talked about Sancho yet. I'm beginning to wonder if he's a five-side player.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, because look, he was good at Dortmund. It's not. He was good. He was actually legit but he was good.
Yeah, I know he was good, but I guess it's much easier to look good when you're playing in the second best team in the league. You get against Freiburg, whoever. In that, I'm not like going to bang on about this league like I'm Andy Gray, but the standard in the Premier League is faster, and you need a particular kind of physical profile. And I'm beginning to wonder if Sancho has that. Even though he's got a beautiful touch and lovely imagination, we're not getting anything out of him at the moment.
And on the other side, Marcus Rashford was pretty disappointing.
I thought that was one of his better games.
Well, that's saying something, man. I mean, yeah, he looks like he has some more confidence. And Ten Hag has been very vocal about him this week.
I mean,
of course, there's a lot of speculation about potentially leaving.
Would you take the money if you could get it for him?
No, not yet, because one, I don't trust the club to invest it sensibly anywhere and actually make progress from that. And I'm not quite ready to give up on him. I mean, I do think a Manchester United team should have some Mancunians in it and players who like have that tie. It doesn't have to be all of them, and clearly it's never going to be. But he's one of very few in the squad that has that tie to the club. So not ready to give up yet. Although it's been 2 years of crapness.
Yeah, I'm close with him. Not that he's someone I wouldn't have sold this summer, but where we are us being where we are now, if I thought that we'd get the money and spend it properly, I would consider it very carefully. But I mean,
If I thought United could do a Liverpool when they sold Coutinho, not that he's a Scouser, so it's not quite the same, for mega money and invest it in, what do they buy? Alisson and Van Dijk, and it was transformational. If I believe United could do that, like maybe, but they can't. Like this club has no ability to execute on its plans. I mean, they've been chasing Frankie de Jong for nearly 4 months now.
I mean, I don't know that I'm less inclined to sound off about that because I don't feel like we know. Like we don't know with De Jong what's exactly gone on there. I mean, I actually was beginning to look because he does look like he's got to leave Barcelona, and obviously if you've got a choice between Chelsea and United at the moment, then there's a strong chance you're going to Chelsea. But it's hard to know where Chelsea getting all that money from, though. Nevertheless, but.
Oh, they're getting his debt. It's all debt. It's they're the owners are doing one big summer. I don't think we'll see it too often from them. But no, sure. If De Jong has better choices, and apparently his relationship with Ten Hag was professional, but it's not like it's a father-son,
right?
Arm around the shoulder thing. Yeah. So I don't know. It's the leverage we quite hoped it might be. Sure, he'll go elsewhere, but like it's not even that one. It's like you have plan B, don't you? And C, and D,
so
and E, and F.
Sort of. I mean, because I feel like at some level we've criticised managers for buying players that they didn't really want, like Ole and Van der Beek say when he wanted Grealish, because you feel like you need someone. If you're not getting number one, then you get a name two, and so on. So there's a bit of that I'm pleased that Ten Hag is like, no, I want this person. I am, but. At the same time, you do, because there's also, I look at it slightly, if you look at what Tottenham have done, right? They've gone and bought Perisic, Bissouma, Richarlison. All of those players would improve our squad, right? Definitely Bissouma would walk into the starting 11.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Jet Spence, another one. So, but are you winning the league with those signings or even challenging for it?
No.
Probably not. So,
No, but they're definitely solidifying its short-termism.
Yeah.
I think,
right.
No,
I agree. I'm not particularly criticising, because do I think Spurs have the wherewithal to mount the title challenge? Probably not. But United, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to go from being absolute wank to challenging for the title. Now, we could be trying to sweep up your Tielemans. What's the pluralisation of Tielemans? We could be trying to sweeping up your Bissoumas, your Jed Spencers, your Tielemanses, and then you'd have players of that ilk.
Yep.
You'd be in with a much better chance of making the top four, but in order to actually challenge for the title, you'd still need...
You'd have to go on again.
Basically a whole new team, or at least those players that you might have, they'd have to be the worst players in the team.
Yeah, no, for sure.
To give you a chance.
But you and I want United to challenge for the title because we grew up with a team that was challenging for the title. The Shower who own the club, they don't want that. That's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for that at all. The incremental revenue versus like reduction in costs of being in the Champions League is worth it to them, but the J curve that you need in spending to go like challenge Liverpool and City at the moment, it's just too much. And less Liverpool,
and it's a punt.
City.
Yeah, and it's a punt.
Yeah.
Like the difference you get in money from finishing third to finishing first is not a lot and doesn't justify the punt if you're not interested in score.
Sure.
Which I totally understand. The thing is the competition for fourth is quite hot now, the top four. So you sort of have to spend to get there. It's not the case anymore. There's the same four teams every season.
No, that's right. I mean, it looks like Spurs and Arsenal are on a upward.
I mean, Arsenal have spent more than any club in world football in the last year.
Sure, yeah, and I guess we all presume that Newcastle will start spending big at some point, and because presumably their owners have the ambitions to get the reflected glory of being in the Champions League and all of that. So United are in United's world is shrinking, as I said, and the competition is getting hotter. So I feel quite grim about the prospects, but longer term at least, and short term we'll see.
And that's why like I felt like this Ten Hag thing was always about being good next year or the year after.
Yeah.
So we need how's Marko Arnautovic going to be in 2 years?
Well, luckily that one's dead because United are absolutely spineless as well when it comes to PR. Thankfully, it's lovely how they floated that one to see what the reaction was. Just do some Googling for the love of God. Rabiot won't be transformational. He's just another plodder in midfield. So I don't know. I feel extremely depressed about where United are at the moment.
Part of that
it's
is
probably going to get worse next weekend.
Part of it is because I hope for something a bit different from the Glazers this summer. Not because out of any altruism or even my own, I don't know what the word is. Even just because we all want to hope. Even just because I was seeking for some hope, so I found it in that. I was seeking hope, I found it there. But just the very basic economics of it, that if you don't speculate, then your ability to accumulate reduces, and it's just if this thing goes tits, then the Glazers' ability to extract money for United is compromised.
Yeah, it might be. Thing is, I think they can probably still pull out 20 million of free cash flow in order for them to take out. So it's the asset value that's shrinking. Anyway, it's going to get worse, isn't it, next week? Monday night, not weekend. So
what team would I want to see? Because I know I'm talking all this bullshit that idiots say when things are going wrong. They're just like, play the kids. And I know that is the last refuge of the moron. And then, but I don't really see that there are that many other options. And then I think about it, and I think, well, who would you play? And then I think, well, hang on. Let's say you wanted to play Iqbal, except the only place in the team where you have quality players, really, Bruno and Eriksen, is his position. Then you think, well, what about Garnacho? But then you're like, well, are we just writing Rashford off to play a child? I don't know. And so on.
Yep, no, your Ten Hag's choices are very limited. And I think we'll see the same as a result.
Got on the left, he was a 6. He's come back and he's an 8, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think there'll be a lot of changes for Liverpool. It may be a tactical change, maybe. Although I don't know enough about Ten Hag's history to know whether he ever switches to a back three in desperate times, because he's never been there with Ajax.
Yeah, Ronaldo wants to leave. He's not going to be around next season. We're shit.
Yeah.
You've got to be finding an alternative now.
Yeah. You say he won't be around next season, but there's about 500 million reasons why the marketing department would like him to be, and United have an option. So I wouldn't write that option off yet. It looks like they're quite happy to keep him, even if he's desperately wanting out. I did find it very funny. He was at the kit launch for that absolutely horrendous third kit they've got, which, by the way, if you're colourblind, green on green, not a good mix. United would have been literally invisible to some people, and he looked downright miserable to be there for a lot of it. Anyway, I think that's enough of this crap, isn't it? Yeah. Liverpool, I think we'll get battered, sadly, and I have very low expectations, so maybe they'll surprise us.
It's just, I think, I wonder if he'll try Martinez in midfield, or if he's just going to say that Martinez is going to be the centre-back and is going to have to learn, but it needs someone needs to make a decision, and Ten Hag needs to make a decision and stick with it. Same with Malacia. We know what Luke Shaw is, so we need to see something different. I don't know. I can't be doing with Fred anymore. But I know that Garner isn't good enough, or at least I think I have a strong suspicion that Garner isn't good enough.
Yeah. All righty, we'll leave it there, folks. Thanks for listening to us moaning for 45 minutes.
Man.
Backers, we'll have a chat about the Premier League, and there are some good teams in there. And everyone else will catch you in a week.
Sarah.
Bye now.